Unexplained lights in the sky will always bring about mystery and intrigue. But are they anything more prosaic than an aircraft, or ball lightning, or a drone? I don't know, let's have a look what these are.
It's July 2016 in the Pisgah National Forest in western North Carolina.
Another National Forest mystery.
2 astronomy-grade cameras have been installed by Appalachian State University astrophysicist Dr. Dan Caton to observe the Brown Mountain Ridge every night. And now they seem to have captured something inexplicable. Anomalous white lights blink on sporadically in the night sky high above the ridge and over the street lights down in the town. In the span of about 20 minutes, they appear at least 4 times.
I mean, it's moving in one direction. They're blinking. Could it not just be an aircraft passing through cloud?
Dan says when he played back this footage, he was amazed.
This video stood out in that it had something that was obviously different. But we had a light here that persisted over 20 minutes, came and went, had no lateral motion, sideways, had no up-down motion. These claims of paranormal, they deserve investigation.
It did though. Just seen it move from that side to that side.
Although accounts of the mysterious lights go back many years, the first published article about them only came out in 1912. Around this time, there were frequent reports of sightings from a spot near a local hotel in the mountains. Journalist M.J. Benaya says the reports had reached such a fever pitch by 1922 that the U.S. Geological Survey decided to investigate.
People claim that what we're seeing here is a phenomenon known as ball lightning. You have static electricity just like you do with a regular lightning strike, except instead of it arcing into a sort of line, it balls up and it sort of hovers temporarily.
Yeah, there's a lot of reports of ball lightning in certain areas. Is it like near fault lines and volcanic activity, apparently?
Others, though, believe the Brown Mountain lights have a spookier source.
I like what you got. Good job.
Aliens.
There's a school of belief that the Brown Mountain lights are actually some sort of manifestation of spirits or ghosts. There's claims that soldiers from the Civil War were killed during a battle.
Why do you never see cavemen ghosts? Like, why do you never see really, really old cavemen style ghosts? They're always like from the Civil War or from the Victorian times. You never see them where they're walking around with a loincloth.
Quite enough of this nonsense.
Near the mountains, and what we see are their ghosts carrying lanterns at night.
You never see ghosts carrying torches, actual torches, or headlamps.
Another theory that's been floated is train headlights. In 1913, a USGS investigator found that Southern Railway trains could be seen from Brown Mountain, and that many reported sightings lined up with the train schedule. But this idea was flushed out after the tracks washed away in a 1916 flood, and the sightings continued.
Ghost train.
So will our experts finally be the ones to get to the bottom of this centuries-old mystery? Physicist Dr. Matthew Shadagas explores the ball lightning hypothesis.
We don't understand.
I can't see how it's ball lightning, because ball lightning is... It wouldn't stay for 20 minutes. It's not one set of ball lightning. I'm assuming it would appear in different locations.
From a scientific perspective, how ball lightning could form. We have a series of equations in physics known as Maxwell's equations. Maxwell's equations tell us how to make predictions for how electrical phenomena behave. Unfortunately, Maxwell's equations don't give us something that look like ball lightning.
These 4 complex equations are named after Scottish physicist and mathematician James Clerk Maxwell, who came up with an early version of them in the 1860s. Based on the equations, the size of ball lightning's electric charge would be too great for it to move as observed here. So could the lights just be coming from a plane?
When the light shows up, it looks sort of like a floating, hovering ball.
So where I live, Manchester Airport is in that direction, that way. But we've got Winter Hill, which is just over there. So we've got a really nice view. Winter Hill is that way, by the way. You can't see my hands. And just over the sort of the hill, you'll see white lights coming. And the white light will come into view and it's been really bright and it'll look like it's basically not moving. But then all of a sudden it'll sort of move because obviously it's coming in towards Manchester Airport. So as soon as it changes direction, you can tell, oh, it's a plane because you can start seeing the flashing lights. All you're seeing is the front lights of the plane. So it's possible there that if you're not seeing it move, it's because it's moving in that general direction.
You know it's not a plane. A plane that has blinking lights is traveling through the frame is going to make a long, drawn-out line.
But what if it could be a reflection of a light on the ground, as we discussed before in the case of the Turkish UFO? Since we keep mentioning the Fata Morgana phenomenon, here's how it works. It occurs when the temperature of the air below the line of sight is colder than the air above. This causes light rays passing through to bend down, making the image of the object appear higher than the actual object.
This is an illusion that occurs near the horizon, and we see lights that are significantly above the horizon.
The high altitude of the lights doesn't seem to make much sense for the Fata Morgana theory, and the conditions need to be just right to create such an illusion. This is seen with such frequency, we're going to rule that explanation out. Therefore, our verdict is that the brown mountain lights remain unexplained. Hopefully, with continuing research, we will someday crack the code.
I mean, for me, you could get on, is it Flight Tracker? So you can see all, like, certain times of year. So if you look at the sighting, you put the time in, you look at the location, and then you can see any flights that correspond to that location. So you can say, there's a plane there, or there's absolutely no aircraft there whatsoever. I'm not ruling out military aircraft, but any commercial flights, etc. So you can say, oh, there's no evidence that there's any planes there, so you could rule that out. I suppose it is a mystery. Until you know what something is, it's unidentified. It's an unidentified flying object. A UFO. But yeah, I'm glad they didn't just go with, we think it could be the reflection of lights on the ground. It's because it's possible, doesn't mean it's the actual case. But for me, yeah, mystery. I'm sure it's prosaic. See you on the next one.